Bringing you up to speed this morning. In the last few minutes, Iran's Ayatollah Ali Khamenei is warning U.S. President Donald Trump that any military intervention in the Iran-Israel conflict will be met with, quote, irreparable harm. Ahead of a meeting with his national security advisors Tuesday, Trump posted on Truth Social, "We now have complete and total control of Iran's skies." That is fueling speculation over what the U.S.'s next move could be in this conflict. For more on where these tensions could go, we are joined from New York this morning by Taufiq Rahim, geopolitical strategist and author of Trump 2.5, a primer. Good morning.
Good morning.
What do you make of the Ayatollah's comments in the last few minutes?
Well, I think they're as expected. The timing, of course, is interesting. He's trying to set the tone for the day in the United States as President Trump and his team wake up this morning and have a series of serious deliberations of what to do. I don't think there's anything surprising in his comments except for the fact that he is obviously not surrendering unconditionally as President Trump demanded, and Iran is going to be putting up some type of resistance to whatever moves come next.
Can we dig into the language just a little bit? When Iran says any intervention, and Trump is putting that they have control over Iran's skies, what is the definition of intervention here?
Well, I think a lot of this is for theatrics. There are indirect communications already being sent between Iran and the United States. They're not having direct conversations necessarily right now, but the foreign minister has been in discussions with the Egyptians and the Emiratis, who then are in close touch with the United States. And so I think this specifically relates to American flights over Iran actually bombing specific sites rather than logistic and intelligence support to Israel, which is already happening.
We learned yesterday as well that the U.S. has sent more warplanes into the region. Trump has also said he's not looking for a ceasefire, but what he called a real end. Again, on Truth Social, Trump calling for unconditional surrender. What could the U.S. president be referring to there? For people in the West, what does that mean?
I think very preeminently it means what he was pursuing before this recent round of fighting, which is an end to nuclear enrichment on Iranian soil, which is a red line for the supreme leader and the Iranians. I think that's what it means specifically, although the longer this goes on, that could include a whole range of things, potentially including a decapitation of the regime itself, although that has not been made clear, and that causes a lot of consternation within his own base in the MAGA movement.
How likely is it that the U.S. will become directly involved in this conflict?
Look, today is a very important day. I don't think this is set. There's going to be a huge debate going on inside Washington, D.C. Tucker Carlson has an interview with Senator Ted Cruz, which is going to be released today and is going to create a lot of media headlines and debate on social media. So I think right now, there's going to be a very, very robust discussion about whether the U.S. should intervene, and it's going to be taking place on Trump's political side itself today.
What are you watching for in the next few days, really in the next few hours and over the next few days?
I think we have to see if there's any movement towards direct discussions between the Iranians and the United States. Of course, they were scheduled to meet before this happened, so there are channels that are open. And if the Russians or the Chinese make a specific entreaty for a de-escalation, thus far they have refrained from getting significantly involved, but the Russians this morning made some statements to the effect warning the United States from any intervention. Whether they can do anything to stop it is one thing, but President Trump will be looking closely at those signs from Vladimir Putin.
Taufiq, just to explain for our viewers further, why are you looking for comments from those two countries? What does that tell you?
It tells us that, one, that they have a substantive objection to escalation with regards to Iran. And I think Donald Trump has those lines open to Xi Jinping and Vladimir Putin on other files. So that could become part of a more complex set of discussions and could lead to some type of de-escalation if there are constructive actions that could be made from those two countries in pressuring Iran to come to a deal with the United States.
The overlap of the timing of this is just unbelievable when you look at, we've just had the democratic world leaders gathering here in Canada at the G7 summit at the same time. This is escalating in the Middle East. Great to have your perspective this morning. Taufiq Rahim, geopolitical strategist and author of Trump 2.5, a primer. We'll be right back.
Thank you for having me.
If you like that video, make sure to subscribe to the Your Morning YouTube feed, where you can find all kinds of new content posted every weekday morning.